Good, y'all. Welcome to yet another edition of Let's Get It. As always, I am the main attraction, Mikadaiba Embryography II. And once again, I am joined by my son, the main attraction 2.0, Mikadaiba Kiss Embryography III. Sorry for the slight delay, man, but I want to get into it. I promised y'all to give you the all-time teams from the ESPN app for the NBA, for the Western Conference. And it's a good thing I have my son here because some of these lists really irked me. So I had to kind of keep me under control. I said, I know I won't do nothing to harm my little man or anything like that, or just, kind of keep my language to a certain degree. But no, we better go ahead and get into it, so let's get started. First one was the Dallas Mavericks, coming from Tim McMahon. He has Derek Harper, Jason Terry, Rolando Blackman, Mark Aguirre, and Dirk Nowitzki. I can see how you can come up with this list. My debate would be Jason Terry. Obviously we all know Jason Terry is there, for 8 seasons. He averaged 16 points a game over those 8 seasons. Jason Terry, very good player, NBA champion, can't deny that. But again, for me, if I was making this list, I wanted to use Jason Terry. My replacements I put down here. I have Michael Finley. I don't see how we could overlook. I don't see how we could overlook Michael Finley. He averaged 22 points over the 8 seasons he was with Dallas. And the only difference between him and Jason to me was Michael helped bring in a young Dirk, and Jason got the advantage of the Hall of Fame Dirk we all come to know presently. And also, I think another person I could have possibly put in that place was Jamal Mashburn. A lot of people sleep on Mash, man. Don't remember Mash. I remember Mash from his Kentucky days, and all of a sudden for the 4 seasons he was with Dallas, he averaged 20 points a game over those 4 seasons. So I said one of those who probably would have made that starting 5 for me. Now again, there was the choice of Jason Kidd. He was co-rookie of the year during his time in Dallas. But again, Derek Harper, as long as he was in Dallas, he spent a lot of time there. I can see why you put him there at the point guard spot. But Rolando Blackman, Mark Aguirre, Dirk Nowitzki, I can't argue with the rest of those. Like I said, Jason Terry, respectively, was my only debate with Finley and Jamal Mashburn going in there for me. Next, the Denver Nuggets. This one was written by Royce Young, his starting 5. Fat Lever, David Thompson, Alex English, Carmelo Anthony, and Dikembe Mutombo. Now he admits freely that hey, Nikola Jokic, he says there's a good chance Jokic will eventually become the greatest player in franchise history, which is true. But his reason for not putting him on there is that he's just 25 years old. To each their own. Okay, I can respect that. Still, in his starting 5, his all-time 5, he got 4 out of 5 are Hall of Famers. I can't argue that. David Thompson, Alex English, Carmelo Anthony, who will be a future Hall of Famer, and obviously Dikembe Mutombo. Okay, cool. Fat Lever was very good in his time with Denver. If you never heard of him, you need to look him up. He did his thing, so I can see where you put him there. Not so much a debate, but just some other names, I guess honorable mentions that I would put in. Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf, was the one else, he came to mind. Mahmoud was a monster in his days in Denver, man. And for those of you who follow the Big Three, he's still doing his thing, man. So he's an inspiration to me. Just trying to get back in some basketball shape because he's showing you the age ain't nothing but a number. He's still getting buckets in. And another honorable mention for me, for Denver, Antonio McDyess. McDyess, in his Denver days was a monster. Over 6 seasons, he averaged 18 and 9. So definitely, gotta take, just wanted to mention those 2 out of respect, to possibly, just be mentioned, although they didn't make the all-time starting 5. Doing that. All right. Oh, this next one. I'm glad I got my son here before I'm have to let him go because it might only be his nap time. Yeah. Can I not hold you, man? Because I'm going to need you for this next one. This next one, I'm going to need you, I swear. I'll take you to mom after this. I need you to help me get through this next one. This next one, the Golden State Warriors. Whew. Breathe, tree. Breathe, Emery. Breathe. All right, this one was from Nick Friedel, Forgive me if I'm mispronouncing your last name. But his all-time starting five for Golden State: Stephen Curry, Klay Thompson, Kevin Durant, Draymond Green, and Wilt Chamberlain. I will not argue with Steph, Klay, Kevin, or Wilt. But Nick, come on, man. Draymond Green. And I love Draymond, don't get me wrong. In fact, I feel Draymond's game, in some ways reflects the way, my game was back in the day. I mean, he does everything. He score, defense, pass. It's basically how my game was. I mean, I could do whatever was needed to be done. I just knew how to play around guys. It's easier for me to fit around guys' games than guys necessarily could fit around mine. But all-time starting five, there's just no way. And I mean, he even sits here and says it's tough leaving Hall of Famers Rick Barry and Chris Mullin out of this group, but who would come out? Draymond Green would come out. I mean, he sits there and Curry and Thompson form the best shooting backcourt of all time, which is true. Durant is one of the best players of his generation, which is true. Green provides the defensive intensity and glue that's propelled them for years, which is also true. But you got Wilt Chamberlain. And for me personally, Kevin Durant's defense was a lot better in his days in Golden State, even than it was in Oklahoma City. I think for a while there, especially before Kevin got hurt, he was making a run towards a debate for being nominated for Defensive Player of the Year. And I said, and I love Draymond, but you could easily put Kevin Durant at the power forward and either have Rick Barry or Chris Mullin at the small forward. I'm sorry, Draymond Green is in the all-time starting five. Like I said, Draymond, I love your game, man. I do. And this is not a knock. I mean, I truly believe that Draymond was just born to be on the Golden State Warriors. He was born to be the pro. Time to get this man down for a nap. I'll be back. I was hoping he'd last a little longer because I was going to need him, but it's all good. That's my man. But like I said, I love Draymond's game, and I truly believe Draymond's going to be a future Hall of Famer. I do. He was just born to play the role he does in Golden State, and you can't knock him. I mean, sure, his career averages aren't the greatest. 9.7 boards, 5 assists. And I mean, they're not eye-popping. Again, that's one of the reasons why Draymond's game reminds me a lot of my own. And I mean, but his achievements: 3-time All-Star, 1-time Defensive Player of the Year, 5-time All-Defensive Team, 2-time All-NBA. But the impact he had on his current Warriors team can't be understated. He deserves to have his jersey retired when it's all said and done. And personally, I wouldn't necessarily put him as a first ballot Hall of Famer for me. But I do believe when it's all said and done that Draymond will deserve a Hall of Fame nod, because I don't think this Warriors team that we're seeing that's won 3 of the past 5 championships, I don't believe they would have won without Draymond. I really don't. But with the all-time starting 5 Golden State Warriors, I'm sorry. Again, Nick, I don't see that. I understand what you're trying to say, but you just got to show love. Like I said, I got Wilt and Kevin Durant. And don't forget, Klay Thompson is a monster defender. So, I know Draymond brings that intensity, but again, I got Wilt and Kevin down there. So I'm sure they'll pick up the slack. So no, sorry, Draymond, you had to come off. And again, Rick Barry, Chris Mullin go in there. Personally, I'd probably throw Rick Barry on there at the small forward. Again, Kevin at the 4, and then Will at the 5. Oh, this is why I wish my son could have made it. This next one, it was right after it too. Oh, okay. Give me a minute. Just give me a minute. It's all good. It's all good. The Houston Rockets. And they just gave me the last name, McMahon. And it's a good thing they only gave me your last name, McMahon, because if I had your first name, I'd probably have to Google you and have to find you on Twitter and give you a piece of my mind. I don't understand how you came up with this person in your all-time starting 5. Houston Rockets from McMahon: James Harden, Calvin Murphy, Tracy McGrady, Rudy Tomjanovich, and obviously Hakeem Olajuwon. Now, I don't know if y'all remember from my last episode I put up for the Eastern Conference. I was talking a little bit about Philly and gave you their all-time starting five, and they put Barkley at the 4 and Will at the 5, respectively. And without question, you're not getting no argument from me there. I even think I said in the last episode, Wilt was an MVP and a champion in Philly. So was Moses. In the end, I think out of respect and just stats alone, I give the nod to Wilt. But McMahon, Rudy Tomjanovich, how the hell? And I even put this on one of my Twitter lines a couple days ago. How the hell did we leave Moses Malone off this list? You cannot justify Rudy Tomjanovich on the all-time starting five of the Rockets? You got your damn mind? Seriously. Rudy Tomjanovich. Now, if he wants to be the coach, without question. Yeah, give me Rudy T to coach. But he's sitting here talking about he earned his spot here with 5 All-Star appearances during a career spent entirely in a Rockets uniform. Come on, man. Seriously. James Harden hasn't spent his entire career with the Rockets, but you got him on here. And you left off Moses Malone? Moses Malone. 3-time MVP Moses Malone. 2 of them won in Houston. 13-time All-Star, 5 of them in Houston. He had as many All-Star appearances in Houston as Rudy T did. Oh my God, I just don't understand how in the hell you could justify this. You just completely overlook Moses Malone. It took about apologies to Hall of Famers like Elvin Hayes, Moses Malone, and Yao Ming. But you sit here, it's hard to get one center in the Houston lineup these days. Do you not forget that Hakeem Olajuwon actually played power forward? Ralph Sampson, hello, the Twin Towers? So you could have easily put Hakeem Olajuwon at power forward and put Moses at the center. Hell, you could have put Moses at the power forward and kept Hakeem at center. There's just no excuse. Your apology is a bunch of BS. How do you justify Rudy Tomjanovich being in the all-time start? No, McMahon. If I ever find out your first name, man, like I said, I hope to God one day I get in this industry. I said, specifically NBA. If you're watching, yes, I'm one of the best unsigned talents out here. So if you truly need some new voices, because no disrespect to all the familiar voices, but you know what? Sometimes you just need a little jolt, something new. I'm out here waiting. Just come and get some. I just want a shot. Because when you got people like this who get paid to write this BS, and they really can have no justification, I would love to know McMahon's basketball credentials. And maybe you're wondering why I'm getting so animated about this. Honestly, it is a little personal for me. Man, more importantly, it's just facts. Moses Malone is gonna be on somebody's all-time starting five. Like I said, I excuse Philly, but to not have him on Houston, that'd be different if we were talking about the Moses of Atlanta and when he played for the Bullets. He was past his prime by then. I get that. He's not gonna make their all-times, but he didn't make Philly or Houston. It's a damn joke. But like I said, it's a little personal for me. And I'll tell you why. Quick story. In high school, as a freshman, I made a goal for myself that I was going to be the greatest rebounder that ever went to my high school. Long story short, I did that. I'm a Hall of Famer, without question. Debatably, I'm the best big man ever played there. And if you're from Wynwoods and you're watching this and you don't agree, you can kiss my ass. I don't really care. But I am probably the best big man that ever played at Wynwoods. With that being said, I went to a camp my freshman coach recommended to me called 5-Star Basketball Camp. And in the pamphlet, they listed everything that comes to camp and had a list of awards that come at the end of the camp. And one of them was a rebounding award. So anyway, I go to the camp, and by the end of the camp, my team wasn't very good, but I at least thought I was going to win the rebounding award. Didn't get it. I didn't get it. So anyway, on the way home, my dad sitting there driving me back to the crib, and he asked me, 'cause I was so quiet, 'cause I was just so pissed I didn't get the rebound award, right? So anyway, he's literally like, why are you so quiet? And I looked at my dad and I told him, I gotta go back. And he's like, why? And I was like, 'cause I didn't get the award I went there to get. And I was like, and I promise you, if you let me go back, I guarantee you I'll get that award. So thankfully, my dad sent me back. He sent me back for the next 2 years. He sent me back that following summer, after my sophomore year. Man, I was a man on a mission. Long story short, at the end of the day, when it was time to give out the ceremony for the trophies and stuff, my team won the regular season, the tournament championship. I won this award by a landslide. I mean, it wasn't even close. And the founder of 5-Star Camp, for those who have ever been to 5-Star Camp, you know his name. They called him Garth. Howard Garfunkel was his name. We called him Garth. Rest in peace to Garth. I'll never forget what he said as he was getting ready to introduce me as the winner of the Rebound Award. He sat there and said, the coaches told him that the next camper who was about to win this award averaged 16 rebounds a game. Now, what made it such a big deal is that 5-Star Camp, you only played 2 quarters. So in this case, you actually didn't want to be a starter because you either played first and third, second and fourth. And I played in the second and fourth quarter. But anyway, he was like, the coaches told me that this kid averaged 16 rebounds a game. He's like, that hadn't been done since the days of Moses Malone. And to have my name mentioned in the same breath as a Hall of Famer, all-time top 50, one of the greatest big men to ever, just period, one of the greatest players to ever do it. To have my name mentioned with Moses Malone was just like, man, it was like I was on cloud 9. So I mean, it's just like from there, Moses, I just have the utmost respect as a former hooper myself. But McMahon, I'm starting to wonder if you ever played basketball, I would love to see your resume, because again, you can't justify Rudy Tom Janovich being in the all-time starting 5 because you want to sit here and say, there's too many centers. Like Olajuwon never played power forward. It's so easy. Oh, so easy. Oh, that was so damn disrespectful. Shame on you, dude. I'd say more, but kids will probably watching this sometimes. Next. Oh, man. The LA Clippers. And there's another one that annoyed me. Apologies in advance if I mispronounced his name. Om Young Misuk. Om Young Misuk. Apologies if I mispronounced your name, okay? But yeah, I gotta talk about your starting 5 too. And again, it's probably just one, honestly. Well, I know it's definitely one. Chris Paul, Kawhi Leonard, Blake Griffin, Elton Brand, and Bob McAdoo. I got no problem with none of those 4, but Kawhi Leonard, man, come on. Already he's in the all-time starting 5, and once again, these cats get paid to write this stuff. His justification is Leonard is just 51 games in his Clippers tenure, but his elite production already puts him on this roster. Averaging 26.9, 7.3 rebounds, and 5 assists, a healthy Leonard can further validate this choice if he can get the Clippers to the conference finals for the first time. It hasn't even been a season yet, man. I understand you're impressed with his stat line, but no, we're talking all-time starting 5. At least play one whole season. Like I said, I gave you Toronto. I'll give you Toronto. Kawhi in Toronto got them the title, Finals MVP. What can I say? But he hasn't even played a full season yet. And regardless of the fact that we're still dealing with the coronavirus, you are clearly a prisoner of the moment. There are other people who actually played a couple seasons for the Clippers that you could have put in there for now and waited to put Kawhi on. Let's not just put him on here when he only played 51 damn games, not even a whole season yet. Other people he could have put down. Jamal Crawford, 3-time Sixth Man of the Year, debatably a Hall of Famer. Lou Williams, another 3-time Sixth Man of the Year, arguably could possibly make the Hall of Fame himself. You had Danny Manning, but we throwing Kawhi Leonard. I mean, is this just a Kawhi craze? And like I said, I respect Kawhi, but damn, can he play at least a season before we already put him on the all-time starting 5? I just don't get it. And they pay you to do this. It's just, to me, it's just foul. It's foul. Because what if, hypothetically, Kawhi didn't even get to the conference finals? You said it'll validate the choice if you can get the Clippers to the conference finals for the first time. What if they don't? Will he come out? Oh, just give me a break, man. It's like, I like Kawhi too, but you got to at least give me some time. Jesus. Next, the Los Angeles Lakers. This might be along the Celtics. It might even be a little more debatable than the Celtics. But I mean, it's not a bad five. Magic Johnson, Jerry West, Kobe Bryant, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Shaquille O'Neal. Not a bad five. I really can't honestly argue it. I mean, I can argue it, but it's not so much a debate. Again, I guess it's just some honorable mentions I can throw in there. Elgin Baylor, you easily could have made an argument for. You could have put Kobe at the 2, put Elgin there at the 3, James Worthy. You know, I'll make the same argument just to keep it fair. I would not put LeBron on this list. Nope. For one, he didn't finish the season last year. Okay, even though he had a season under his belt, but he got hurt. All right. And once again, due to the season being stopped, you know, like I said, these aren't necessarily things that is LeBron's fault. But for now, there's just too many other names. Like I said, Worthy, you know, Elgin Baylor, you can put on there. You know, I mean, think about it. Wilt Chamberlain got left off. But I think the fact is that that's justified is that when you look at the other two big men ahead of him, Kareem and Shaq, they won more titles than he did during his time at during their time in LA than Wilt. So I could justify that. Although again, Wilt wouldn't have necessarily been a bad choice. But again, I mean, the logo, lifetime Laker, I'm not going to argue that. But no, LeBron for now. Again, just like I said with Kawhi, let me see what he does with the Lakers first, and then we'll come back and revisit the list. I'll admit on camera, if LeBron wins, hell, if LeBron wins one, because Jerry West only has one. If LeBron wins one, he'll belong on this list. If he wins one with the Lakers, I would put him in the all-time starting five. Next, Memphis Grizzlies from my man McMahon. He has Mike Conley, Tony Allen, Shareef Abdur-Rahim, Zach Randolph, Marc Gasol. No problems here. I like that. I like that lineup right there. Next one up, the Minnesota Timberwolves. It's not a bad starting five, and I can see how he came up with it. I debate just a little bit. But he has Ricky Rubio, this is Andrew Lopez. He has Ricky Rubio, Sam Cassell, Kevin Garnett, Kevin Love, Karl-Anthony Towns. My biggest debate would be Ricky Rubio. I would personally put Stephon Marbury there. That's just me. I think again, I think Andrew only put Ricky Rubio there, obviously because he was in Minnesota longer, and obviously Rubio trails Garnett in the franchise and steals and assists. But otherwise, I mean, player to player, Ricky Rubio was no Stephon Marbury at all. I mean, just not. But I think with Ricky being as much time as he had at Minnesota, I think that's the only reason I'd like to believe, Andrew, you would have him up there above Stephon Marbury. Marbury, during his time in Minnesota with KG, was beastly. I mean, again, if personal ambitions probably didn't get away, they probably could have really done some damage had they stuck together. New Orleans Pelicans. Now, just a reminder, remember the Pelicans franchise started in 2002 when the team moved from Charlotte to New Orleans. So their starting five here. This is from Lopez again. I don't think it's the same Lopez. Just has the last name. Chris Paul, Drew Holiday, Jamal Mashburn, David West, Anthony Davis. I can't knock that. I like this one. I like the starting five. I won't knock it. I'm glad to see Jamal got some love here. I said he could have got a little bit of love in the Dallas one, but I'm glad to see he got some love here with the New Orleans Pelicans starting five. Next, Oklahoma City Thunder. Man, it's another one that irked me. My man Russell Westbrook, no-brainer. James Harden, another no-brainer. Kevin Durant, no-brainer. Paul George, and Serge Ibaka. And again, this is just a last name here, Young. Paul George. Did nobody watch that playoff series against the Utah Jazz. What was it now? 2 years ago, where Ingles gave Paul George the business. I don't care what anybody says. If you watch that series, because I said anybody who knows me, I'm a huge Russ is my guy in the NBA. Russ is my guy. But that series against Utah, the biggest thing that stuck out was how Ingles was just taking it to Paul George. Oh my God! I mean, it was unanimous decision. It wasn't no split. So, Young, how you get Paul George in your all-time starting five of Oklahoma City, I don't know how you do that. Personally, I'm putting Serge at the 4, and I'm giving love to Steven Adams. Personally, I'll put Steven Adams at the center. But Paul George? Excuse me. Hell no. No, Paul George. No way in hell Paul George belongs in the starting 5 of the all-time team for the Oklahoma City Thunder. No, it's just not after what I saw. I mean, I'm surprised they didn't try to put him in the starting 5 of the LA Clippers. Another one. The Phoenix Suns. It's from our man Lopez. So his last one, no, it was Young. Lopez was the one before that. From our man Lopez. Steve Nash, Kevin Johnson, Walter Davis, Charles Barkley, Amari Stoudemire. My only debate, I think a lot of y'all will probably know where I'm going with this. My biggest debate would be Steve Nash. Yes, Steve Nash won 2 MVPs, but a lot of us will sit here and say that both those MVPs were fraudulent. There's just, to this day, I don't know how he won MVP. What was it, over AI and Shaq? I don't know how you justify that. And I think the other MVP he won over Cole, I just don't know how you justify that. But again, I'm personally replacing Steve Nash with Jason Kidd, because in both their careers, they actually had identical numbers. The only difference is Jason averaged 14 points, 9 assists, 6 boards, where Steve averaged 14 points, 9 assists, and I think he averaged 3 rebounds. And plus, Jason Kidd is just better. But Steve Nash, Lopez gave him the nod because he won 2 debatable MVPs for Phoenix, so I can see why he'd go there, but not. But for me, Jason Kidd's going in, Steve Nash got to come out. There's just no way. Yeah, he's got to come out there. The Portland Trail Blazers. I accidentally erased the name on this one. But not a bad list, though. Damian Lillard, Clyde Drexler, Brandon Roy, LaMarcus Aldridge, and my man, Bill Walton. Of course, you got to have Big Red on there. But not a bad list. I really have no arguments about that one. I can go with the all-time starting 5 of the Portland Trail Blazers. Next, the Sacramento Kings. Oscar Robertson, Tiny Archibald, Peja Stojakovic, Chris Webber, and Jerry Lucas. Once again, I really can't argue with those. I think DeMarcus Cousins would be a definite 6-man, but for all-time starting 5, I'll go back with this one. I can go with the starting 5 right here. The Spurs, by my man McMahon. And first of all, thank you for not putting Kawhi Leonard on this team. Okay, I want to get that out there first. Thank you for not putting Kawhi on this team. Let me go back and double check this here. All right, McMahon has some sense for not putting Kawhi on the all-time starting 5 in San Antonio, unlike Owen. So McMahon, we have Tony Parker, Manu Ginobili, George Gervin, Tim Duncan, David Robinson. Bravo. I think that's perfect. That is absolutely perfect. That is the best all-time starting 5 I think you can come up with for the Spurs. I got no problems with that one at all. The Seattle Supersonics. We got Gary Payton. Written by Kevin Pelton. I said, not a bad list. And I said, I respect the fact, again, that he didn't go the Ohm route. Just throwing, throwing KD on there, because obviously KD wasn't there very long. But I mean, he did play for Seattle for the short time they were there. Russ was drafted by Seattle, but never got to play there. But his list is solid. Gary Payton, Gus Williams, Detlef Schrempf, Sean Kemp, and Jack Sigma. I don't mind this. I like that starting 5 right there. And then finally, to bring us home, for the Utah Jazz, my man McMahon. He has John Stockton, Pete Maravich, Adrian Dantley, Karl Malone, and Rudy Gobert, which I think he hit the nail on the head. I think Rudy might end up being the best center in the history of the franchise. I mean, I know you bring Mark Eaton, who's an all-time leader. I think it was single season blocks in the season. But I mean, you can't overlook the fact Gobert, 2-time Defensive Player of the Year, All-Star. I mean, he's definitely a threat in the middle. So yeah, Gobert would get my nod here. But they got that starting five right. And speaking of the Utah Jazz, again, rest in peace to Coach Jerry Sloan. Condolences to his family. But that's it, man. That's the all-time starting five for the Western Conference. And as I told y'all, man, there were a lot more what I would call discrepancies for this Western Conference than there was on the Eastern Conference. And again, I mean, the rule here for Let's Get It, man. I mean, don't just bring your feelings. Bring facts, not just your feelings. That's what the rule is here. Bring facts, not just your feelings. And I know you could probably sit there and say, well, Emory, you were a lot of your feelings in this. Yeah, but I also gave you facts. I'm sorry, they're just those a lot of debatable calls on here, these all-time starting fives, especially, like I said, the Houston call. The Houston call and the LA Clipper call. It's a coin toss for me, which was more disrespectful. I think I'll still go with Houston by a slim margin. But I mean, that's it, man. I hope y'all enjoyed this as always. Again, love to hear some feedback, man. Let me know, as always, you come with facts, not just feelings, on why you feel, maybe you don't agree with me, or maybe you agree with this listener here. Or again, maybe there's a name I just didn't bring up, that you want to throw in here that you felt it could be on these all-time starting fives for the teams I just mentioned, man. But once again, for my son, Trey, Emory Ogletree III, I am Emory Ogletree II, the main attraction, Mika Diva. This is Let's Get It. Remember, bring facts, not just your feelings. Until next time, I'm out.